Hello guys. Welcome to Diablo the Primordial. This video is the continuation video after Xian's decision. So if you have not watched it, then please watch it. The link is in the description. And please check out my second channel Top Anime Sensei for the light novel of Tensei. So without any further delay, let's start. But before we start, please like, subscribe and press the bell icon so you don't miss the updates. Worst case scenario, even if she loses her entire army, she thought that it may be necessary in order to defeat Dagruel. In the sky and on the ground. Since when being attacked from two sides, the defense will immediately collapse should one of the sides be defeated. Even in the worst case, this side must absolutely not be defeated. Xian engraved that fact in her mind whilst conversing with the fools and Adelman. Glancing at Dagura, Ryura, and Dabura, the three that are Dagruel's sons, Xian thought even further. How strong is Dagruel, truly? Dagruel seems to have two younger brothers too, and the ability of those two are yet unknown. They are opponents that she must never be careless with. Even so, the victor will be me. Xian smiled fearlessly still. Her smile encouraged her allies and gave them strength. The battle would begin soon. Adelman stood on the back of the death dragon, Wenti, as he glared at the ground. Wenti, who was soaring high in the sky with her original appearance, that of a wicked dragon, was scattering around an ominous aura. Human who have weak resistance will die just by being exposed to her aura. However, on the contrary, it gives power to Adelman. Fumu, with a nod, Adelman began thinking. Making pre-battle statements would be futile as the opposition's opinion was so far off. Against Dagruel's army, which already invaded and trespassed the national borders, even warning is meaningless. If that's the case, he decided that it might be okay for him to cast a very flashy extreme magic as the sign of the start of the war. Adelman begins to chant the incantation. Though he can use it without chanting, he lengthily chants it because of old habits and spiritual buildup. However, this incantation of his, he thought that chanting it properly is better than going the easy route. The reason why is, it can't be used inside the labyrinth. Or rather, it was unusable due to him lacking the magic power while he was alive. He had the knowledge, but this is the first time he's decided to use the magic for real. If it's for a flashy magic, then it will be good. Such was his idea. Trying not to be too eager chanting the incantation for the first time in his life, he looks at the ground and determines the sphere of influence of the magic. He didn't care whether it will activate or not. According to the ancient documents, it's an extreme magic that needs several archmages to activate it. It'd be funny if he couldn't invoke the magic. Fortunately, there's no witnesses here. So, he will just cast a different magic at that time. Well, now, this magic will become the signal for the start of the war. Please succeed. While Adelman prayed so, the perfect magic mastery effect of the ultimate gift Necronomicon is activated. Adelman's knowledge is being corrected by Seeker of Truth, and words are engraved into his mind. It seems that if he succeed in chanting the spell in the first time, he will be able to invoke the magic immediately for the second time. Ah, I see. In this case, I understand that chanting the incantation is not necessary. Filled with a pleasant feeling of fulfillment, Adelman understood his ability. And then, well then, you better experience this properly. An ancient extreme magic, Tempest Meteor. In an instant, glittering dazzling lights pours down from the magic formation that appeared suddenly in the sky. It's as beautiful as the wonder of a starry night. However, it's a dreadful light that brings forth death and destruction. Even though it's a grand magic that would need several archmages of old to successfully cast, the completed extreme magic of Adelman is several levels above it in scale and power. And it's magic that starts with Tempest in its name, symbolizing their country. With the correction of ultimate gift Necronomicon, he had shown this world the perfected result. The best that the past archmages able to summon were just several meteorites. Even so, it was a grand magic of strategic class showing a great effect as anti-army magic, but the number of meteorites summoned by the magic that Adelman invoked exceeds 1,000. The ground is rained down by meteorites with diameter of 50 centimeters, spreading death to Dagruel's troops. Even if the giants are known for their superior regeneration power, there's no meaning if they receive damage they can't regenerate. The limbs that tried to catch the meteorite are blown off, and their heads are crushed. The giant race who intended to invade with their huge power is at their wits' end as they weren't even able to escape. The extreme magic that Adelman cast showed more effect than he had intended. Only by one magic, nearly 1/3 of Dagruel's army became unable to fight. Look, Gadra! as I expected, my magic is wonderful, right?" Surprised by the result having more effect than expected, Adelman boasts it to his companion, Gadra, like it's natural. Because his bone face doesn't have an expression, he's safe knowing that his true feelings weren't exposed. Being able to boast to the man who is his rival is the greatest thing, above all else. It was not amusing for Gadra, who came to this war against his will, but he can't help admitting the power of Adelman's extreme magic. For Gadra Rushi, who is a newcomer, he wanted to attain some achievement. You see, since he earned his affiliation with Demon Lord Rimuru only by deserting the Empire, it was painful, not being useful at all. This war was a competition for the hegemony of this world. He thought, if he couldn't be useful now, he'd end up being useless throughout in his career history. Although he's taken part in the discussion of various researches, he's not satisfied with just that. Humph! Shut up. I will show you the real extreme magic. It's just that, because my magic power is not enough, could I have you cooperate with me? Rather, what the heck is this guy, how can he learn such magic? His forte should be divine magic and undead magic though. This kind magic is my specialty, you know. I'm sad. Gadra, with Adelman's cooperation, commencing the chant of the incantation while harboring an indescribable feeling. Gadra receives the aid of Ultimate Gift Grimoire and understand the principle of the incantation as well as Adelman. Indeed, this is really wonderful. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough energy even with my magic power. Gadra regrets that he's unable to use the magic just with his own power, but it can't be helped and he come to a clear decision. He had reincarnated repeatedly and was proud of his enormous amounts of energy, far more than most people, but compared with the high ranking of Tempest, he is just an insignificant person. There are frustrated feelings of being defeated by Adelman, who once was his rival, but he understands that being prideful is useless. So he chooses the strongest magic in his knowledge and begins to chant it. The highest level of darkness magic that even Adelman don't know. While Adelman just used probably one of the highest level summoning spells. If Adelman is able to use summoning arts, it's not strange that its application usage reached the ultimate level. Then, with the highest level of darkness magic he's most skillful in, let's show it in this place. Gadra thought so. And, "O thou who suffers in everlasting starvation, heed my call." Nihilistic hazard. The strongest of divine magic is the ultimate anti-personnel destruction magic, disintegration, which is well known. It's known that there are a few people who can use it, but its high power is guaranteed. It's said that person who receives a direct hit and can survive doesn't exist. However, if there's weakness of this magic, it might be that it's a single target magic. The attack range is extremely short. It was a natural reason why the magic has a high power, but against an army it was a useless magic. Because he's well informed about this matter, it might be why Adelman used the strongest spell in summoning magic. And what Gadra chose was the opposite of disintegration, the strongest large-scale annihilation spell of darkness magic. A very large magic formation emerges on the ground and the sky. And, like connecting the sky and the ground, dark electric discharge begun to appear, and innumerable spheres of electricity were released. The fang of darkness that swallows all substances. It's darkness magic that brings void to this world and is considered as one of the forbidden spells. The void let loose in the world doesn't vanish until its negative energy turns null. Everyone inside the barrier of the magic formation that links the ground and the sky is devoured and their existence is erased. It was one of the ultimate magics that was feared, as a mistake in its control can bring destruction to the world. Wahahahaha. How's that? Amazing, right? You fool. What are you thinking? If I didn't help you, you would absolutely fail to control it, you know? That's might be right, but I want to be in the spotlight too. That's not an excuse to use such dangerous magic. Adelman is stunned. Certainly, as this world might be destroyed if Gadra fails his control of the magic, Gadra can't make any excuse. He was confident in his control, but he almost loses his consciousness as he didn't have enough energy. He succeeded in his experiment before with his own energy, and the best he could do was to confine several people inside the field. It's only to the degree of better than an anti-personnel spell. It was barely a success at that time, but it would end with casualty that a village disappeared in case he failed in his control. That's because he was only putting a little energy in it. When he put enormous magic essence to invoke the magic like what they done right now, the world will be really in crisis. But, that's only the story if he failed. Well, it's all good, right? It's a success. Gadra, who's not reflecting, could be called as a degenerate mad genius. Adelman letting out a given-up sigh as he recalled the thing. It would be useless even if he says anything anyway. In fact, there's no problem since he succeeded. Besides, they seem to succeed in greatly reducing the number of the enemy's army with too extreme magic. As the giant race could be said as a lump of energy, they seem not to be totally annihilated as they can counter the minus energy. But still, when compared to their original number, the number had already decreased by a half. Normally in such situation people would give up the war and withdraw. Then what will be their choice? With that thought, Adelman's group would breathlessly witness it with their eyes. The giants continue their attack without minding the death of their comrades. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys have not watched my earlier videos, then please watch them. The links are in the description. And please check out my other channel Top Anime Sensei for the light novel of Tensei. And don't forget to like, subscribe and press the bell icon so you don't miss the updates.